Welcome back. It's been a little while since we had folks from the Quincy Toastmasters Club here on the program, so it's long overdue for an update. 675 Quincy Toastmasters and presidents and also the Vice President of Public Relations, Madhu Natarajan and Nigel Griffith are here. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much for inviting us.
It's great to have you back. Yep. It's been a little while, as I mentioned, since we had an update. So ever since that time, a lot has changed, Madhu, right?
Yes.
First of all, you're the new president.
Yes.
Yeah, so congratulations on
Yes.
that. Tell us a little bit about your journey to Toastmasters.
So, more than a president, I'm a proud member of Quincy Toastmasters because Quincy Toastmasters has achieved a lot of things in 75 years. And I became president on the 75th year, which is a proud moment for me.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing. One of the older clubs, right,
Yes.
in the region.
Yes.
Yeah. Back in September, is that right? That's when you're...
June
Oh,
2024.
Oh, so it's been a little while now.
Yes.
Okay.
I became president in June 2024.
Okay, all right. How long does a presidency, what's the term for president?
It's 1 year.
1 year.
So I have 3 more golden months.
Okay. How has it been going for you?
So it was good.
Yeah.
We started with the team, together everyone achieves more. So the ultimate aim is to make sure that everyone achieves at least one goal in that whole Toastmaster year.
Okay.
So if everyone achieves the goal, it means that team achieves the goal. And I am proud to say, as of yesterday, we achieved all the 10 district goals for our club.
Congratulations.
So thank you so much.
Wow, that's quite an
Yesterday
achievement.
was the day where I sent an email to all our Toastmasters saying that we achieved 10 out of 10, which is a historic. I don't know whether it's the first time, maybe first time,
Yeah.
but this is the maximum we can achieve. So that
Okay.
is achieved as of yesterday.
Very good. How long have you yourself been a member of Quincy Toastmasters?
I joined in 2018. I visited Toastmaster Club as a guest in 2017 and I became an official member in 2018.
Okay, so 7 years now?
Yes,
Yeah. Well,
yes.
What was it that led you to Toastmasters? You know?
As a non-native speaker,
Yeah.
it's very difficult for me to convince others, particularly here. And also we in India, particularly in India, we don't speak English, we learn English. So we are very good at writing, but speaking, we never speak in English, unfortunately.
I see.
But nowadays things changed in the last 2 decades. But when I was studying before, maybe 10-15 years back,
Yeah.
now I know English, but only thing is I cannot present it effectively. So Quincy Toastmasters helped me to improve my public speaking skills and communication skills.
Yes.
More than that, I learned a lot of content while preparing. Maybe I would have given 50 plus speeches in these many years.
Really?
50 plus.
Yeah.
And that gave me confidence.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'm speaking in a TV interview.
Oh.
And thank you so much.
Oh, well, it's our honor then. We're happy to have you. You're a Quincy resident, right? We should point
Yes,
out.
I'm a Quincy resident for 7 years.
7 years now, very good. So obviously, has it worked? Has it helped, Madhu? Has it helped achieve that goal that you wanted to gain
Definitely.
more confidence? Yes.
So that's why I took the role of president this year to
Yes.
make sure that everyone achieves that benefit.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I took the role of president. So I want to make sure that whatever the benefit I have achieved, everyone wants to achieve.
Yeah, which I mentioned earlier is the sign of a true leader, that you're always learning, and trying to relay those skills to your members. How many members are there now in Quincy Toastmasters?
So as of today, we have 45 members, which is historic.
Really?
Maybe I at least in the last 7 years, I have not seen this 45th mark. So even this may be the historic.
Wow.
We had a lot of new members. We had open house recently in January. We had around dozen of guests attended,
Yes.
and half a dozen became member in the next week.
Amazing.
So
That's great.
this is one of the biggest achievement.
Yeah, and then kind of another historic first for Quincy Toastmasters. Your board, your governing board, is made up of majority minority members, right?
Club officers.
Club officers. Yeah. So Nigel, what do you attribute that to? Why is that important for Toastmasters?
Well, I think it's, first of all, let me say thank you for having us.
Oh, my
this
pleasure,
is
yeah.
an absolute pleasure, and I think this is what helps us to share the message in getting people in the community
Yes.
to be a part of Quincy Toastmasters Club. In regards to your question, I would say What sets us apart is that each of the officers that we have come from different backgrounds, and they all bring a unique and genuine work ethic to the club. What Elizabeth and Suzette and those who have come before us has done is set the stage for us to continue this tradition. But with us coming in, we have begun to elevate the club to a much higher level in regards to dealing with getting used to social media, doing all the things that young people, the younger generation, how they get their news, how to get their message, how to get their information. But certainly Quincy Toastmasters itself has now developed a new pathway system which helps every member of the club to attach his or her goals to that pathway. And that is what helps each of our members accomplish their goals when they join the club. How I contribute to that is by working alongside the president, but also working with all the officers. As I said again, each of our officers are so gifted. We have Priscilla, we have Dr. Bell, we have Jessica, we have Rebecca, and we also have a long-standing member, Loretta. So all of them bring wisdom, growth, and enthusiasm to this new leadership that we have. And again, as I said, because of those who have come before us help us to set the stage. But more importantly, as public relations, I help to make sure all the messaging that we have to share with the public, with our members, gets out there. And this year we launched the Instagram page that was attached, that's now attached to our Facebook page. So people can get information on both of those sites.
Okay.
But also help the members see themselves out there as they're achieving these goals. The pathway system really is a way for each member to accomplish their goals.
Yes. So what is the path through Quincy Toastmasters? Where do you start? Where do you end?
Well, first they come and attend one of our meetings.
Okay.
After a visitor comes to 3 of our meetings.
Where and when do you meet?
We meet on Mondays at the Quincy College Library on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
And the meeting starts at 7:15 and ends at 9.
Okay.
If a visitor or a guest wants to join us at any of those meetings, they just RSVP, our VP of Membership, Dr. Belinda Bell.
Okay.
And we'll give the information just as we wrapping up the segment.
Sure.
But it is important that they RSVP us so we could plan accordingly for their arrival.
I see.
That's where it starts. Then we also have them join in, if they attend that meeting, to be part of the end of the meeting where they join in the table topics. And they don't have to, but if they would like to, we allow them to. So that's their first step to really getting a taste or experience of what Toastmasters is about.
Okay, all right. I know you said it might be a little bit emotional for you, but I'd be curious to hear your story about how you came to Quincy Toastmasters, Nigel.
Yeah. Quincy Toastmasters, I've always heard about it, but one day our past president, I went to visit her at her workplace because I was inviting her to an event that I was hosting. And while I was there, she shared with me, why don't you come to one of our Toastmasters meetings? And I said, I've heard of it, but I've never been to it. And the last day of that meeting, which was last year, I showed up at the last meeting.
Okay.
And my journey began there.
Huh.
And ever since then, I fell in love with what Toastmasters had to offer. But it really gives you a chance to see who you are, how well you can be, but most importantly, it helps you to share your story, your life stories. My life story began all the way in Trinidad. I grew up in an orphanage, came to this country, got a tennis scholarship, and there it was. I graduated from the tennis school. I ended up in New York, then I ended up in Boston. And my life was never the same. So to wrap it up in this segment, I
Yeah.
would say my journey began with just the endeavors of Elizabeth Thomas, just asking me to come and visit, just like we are doing now to ask any visitor or guest to come and visit
Sure,
us.
sure. But it sounds like it enabled you to be able to tell your story in a confident way, and in an effective way, and in a way that might inspire others.
Sure. I mean, sharing my story, each of us, when we become members, there's how we start our pathway is by sharing our icebreaker story. And an icebreaker is really to get members of the club to get to know who you are.
Yes, yeah.
And you share with them what you're comfortable sharing, but they get to know you and get to understand you. And when I had to share that story, Elizabeth and Suzette both helped me preparing for this, but it was difficult.
Yeah.
It was the first time I shared my story,
Really?
and it was emotional.
It was the first time?
It was the first time.
Wow, okay.
And when I had to do it a second time, it was also emotional.
Yeah.
So I am at the point where I'm getting better at it, but I think it's always good when we can help people do and achieve their goals. But when you have to share what you've been through and some of your struggles, it's always a difficult and emotional thing to do.
Yeah, well, obviously, you're sharing part of yourself, you know.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And I always feel if you do that, you're helping somebody.
Yes, yeah. And Madhu, you probably have a similar story. You shared that you were a non-English speaker, you know, came to this country 7 years ago. Toastmasters is an international organization, right? It's around the world.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you aware of it in India?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I joined in maybe for a year or so. I was a member in India.
Yes.
But there is a big difference
Yes.
between being a Toastmaster in India and being a Toastmaster in US, because people will be easy, they will easily understand my language in India, but in here it's very tough. And also,
I'm having no problem, by the way. You're doing just fine.
but as I said, we are a much diverse club. We have people from Caribbean, we have people from Asia, Europe, US, everywhere all over the world. So you should visit one day as a guest to see how diverse we
Thank
are.
you.
And again, as I said, we achieved all the goals because of each and every member and every officer.
Yeah.
So I want to reinstate that. It's the base, as Nigel said, the base is built. We are trying to build the building on the basement.
Yeah. So, for folks listening who are considering becoming a member, why should they? You know,
Okay.
What will benefit from that?
So, as a general, Toastmasters, for two things. One is to improve the leadership skills and improve the communication skills. Why they need to come to Quincy Toastmasters? We have a lot of seasoned Toastmasters. There are 4 people who are 30 plus years
That's
in
amazing.
Quincy Toastmasters.
Yeah.
So when you have experience, they can learn. So we are building a mentor-mentee relationship. So we are trying to tag whoever is need of a mentor. So we will tag them to a mentor, whoever
Yes.
is available. Again, people need to spend some time on that. So we will try to map all the new members to a mentor so that they have a guided way to achieve their goal.
Yeah. I think that's important because I think the misconception is that you know, you're forced to make a speech in front of everybody with no help, with no assistance, and then you're judged on that. You know, so it's completely different. It's a shared environment.
I always insist, Toastmaster is a no judgment zone.
Yeah.
Because you are allowed to make mistakes without any consequence in Toastmasters. You can't do that in work. So there are 2 no judgment zones. One is in Planet Fitness, you see no judgment zone. But here also it's a no judgment
judgments.
zone. You can make mistakes, just learn. Don't repeat that mistake. That's the only request.
it's not a mistake if you learn from it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think that's important to point out because I think, would you agree there's this kind of perception that you're in the spotlight on the stage, with all eyes on you and folks making critiques, because that's a high pressure environment.
We always give a sandwich feedback. And just before 7 years,
Yes.
when I gave a speech, I know it was not at all perfect, but I got all the positives on my speech first.
Yes.
Then they have suggested the improvements.
Yes.
So that's the sandwich. We always give the sandwich
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah.
And there are some seasoned members who are expert in that,
Yes.
particularly John O'Connor, who was the mentor of the quarter of the entire district, because he's so good in giving that. Not just him, Dennis, Suzette, so many people are so good in giving the feedbacks.
Constructive.
Yeah.
feedback,
Constructive.
Right? Yeah. Not even calling it criticism, constructive.
We don't
feedback.
use the word criticism.
Right. I think that's important.
And if I could add to
Yeah,
that,
please. Yeah.
I would say the whole idea of how members begin to get up there and become comfortable
Yeah.
in all aspects of Toastmasters is you have people coming in to just do better when they go for a job interview. You have people who want to share their story but don't know where to start.
Sure.
You have people who just afraid of standing in front of others and
Absolutely,
speaking.
yeah.
So each of these platforms help them to achieve that.
Yep.
So that's why the mentorship is important. And we also don't want to bring a new member into the club and just make them feel that you have to do all of this all by yourself.
Absolutely.
So the
Yep.
mentorship is really a cornerstone of Quincy Toastmasters now, where we make sure and help the new members.
Yeah.
with that.
We're out of time, unfortunately, but I just want to make sure we give the website out again. So 675.toastmastersclubs.org.
Yep.
You're on Facebook, Instagram now, as you
Yes.
mentioned. Monday night, 7:15 to 9 at Quincy College.
Yes.
Stop by
And if I could just
Yep.
plug this in, this is the CL Con. We still have tickets available if anyone is interested in attending this conference. It's $125,
Okay.
and it will be on May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Westin Hotel
Up
in Waltham.
Waltham. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
So they can
District31.org is the
District
website. there.
31, if they want tickets, they could also scan that QR code.
Okay, great. Thank you both.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
so
just want to add one point why people need to come to Toastmasters. We learn. In addition to that, we have winter party, summer party, and we give lot of awards for whoever is improving every
very
year.
nice. Yes.
So please come and join us.
Thanks again.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much
You
for
are very
having us.
welcome. My pleasure.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
This was great.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.